All right, so this is northwest. If we look at that one will be easy because you just transpose it's x squared minus the 5x equals to 0. Common factor is x. Then you end up with x minus the 5 equals to 0. From here, you know what to do, correct?
Yes.
All right, it's like the previous one. Good. Then the next one, it's also straightforward because you can see what is A, what is B, what is Z. Then, well, they said 3 marks. It's either quadratic formula. Yeah, it's going to be quadratic formula because the factors of 13 is 1 and 13. When you add or subtract, you don't get the 2. You're going to use a formula. So you know what is A, you know what is B, you know what is the C as well. So no problem. So we leave that one out. All right, so let's go to the last two. So this one here, it's actually inequality. You see, again, you've got those numbers. So this one is very quick. It looks quick. So when you're looking for CV, critical values, if I were to solve for x minus 2, I'll end up with a positive 2. If I were to solve 1 minus x, remember the minus x goes over, then 1 equals to x, or rather x equals to 1. These are my critical values. That's all there is. This is not bad. That's why it's 3 marks I can see. Then what you need to do is a number line. Wow, this one, it was quick. It wasn't that bad. So you need a number line. Good. Now, let's see if we multiply the x. If you take that x and that x, when you multiply them together, because one is positive, one is negative, you're going to have a negative x squared, meaning your graph is pointing down. It's a sad face. That's all you needed to know. So that means the graph will point downwards like that, because you guys love the graph, all right? And that will be x. Now, because of these numbers, the smaller number is 1. So 1 comes first. It must be on the left. 2 goes to the right. So I can shade there, put a shaded dot there. Why? Because in this case, there is equal sign. Then I put equal sign. Now, what are they telling me? Now they're telling me the sign says less than. What does less than means? It means below. Your solution will be where the red lines are below that. So which simply I'm pointing towards the right, I'm pointing towards the left. So the first answer, if I take this one, it has to be x is less than 1, but since there is equal sign, I include it. Or x is, I look at that arrow, it's greater than what, 2, but since there was equal sign, I include the equal sign. So those two becomes your solution. Those are your answers. I think so far so good. All right, so the next one we can actually see it's squaring both sides. All right. I should have hoped, because squaring both sides, it's a type of exponent. Because the square root is actually the power of half. It's the exponent of half. That's what it is. All right, so let's see now how we're going to deal with this one here. So let's deal with this one right away. So I said you isolate the square root. The square root is already isolated here. So let me rewrite it. So we've got 2 square root of 2x minus the 1. And then I'm going to equate that to x minus the 11, I believe. There we go. All right, so I'll prefer when it's isolated, then I duplicate it, I write it twice. And there's a second one. The second one is the one where we need to square both sides. So I'm going to put the parentheses, the brackets. I square the left hand side, then I square the right hand side. Like I said, I would have put a restriction there. 2x minus 1 must be greater than or equals to 0. All right. Here, the 2, the exponent 2 will go for that 2, will go also for the square root. So that means in dealing with that, what I'm going to have the 4 when I raise it into the square root falls off. 2x minus 1. There we go. Equals to, when you work out that one, it's going to be x squared minus 22. X minus 11 squared is positive 121. All right, so now I've got 8x minus the 4 equals to x squared minus 22x and then plus 121. So what it means now, I have to take all of that, bring it to that side, but I'm going to write the right-hand side first. So I'm going to write x squared. When 8x goes over this side, it's going to be minus. So in other words, I'm having negative 22 minus 8. That gives me a negative 30. Negative 30x. Then when I take a negative 4, bring it over, it becomes a plus. Then I now have 125. I could have put the 0 here on the left, but it's exactly the same as putting it on the right-hand side. Next thing, I need to factorize this. It could be, I don't know, 5 and 25. 5 times 25. Yeah, when I add them, I get that. Yeah, that's right. So in the, I would have used the quadratic. It's because I know 125 is 1 cubed. It's 5 to the power of 3. It's 5, 5, 5. All right, so I'm going to put the 5 here. And then the next one, I'm going to write it as x. And I'm going to slot in the 25. Then I must have minus and a minus. Then first answer is x equals to 5. Or the next answer is going to be x equals to 25. Equals to 25. But remember, with squaring both sides, you're not done there. You need to check. You're going to need to check your answer, validate which one is correct. All right, so I said to do it, you need to use the equation before you square both sides, before the blue box. Anyone before the blue box. So I'm going to use this one. So I'm going to try the 5. If I put the 5 under there, under the square, it's 2 times 5, which is 10. 10 minus 1 is 9. Square root of 9 is 3. 3 times 2, it's a 6. Let's see if I get 6 here. So if I were to put a 5 here, it's 5 minus 11. I get a negative 6, so it won't work. So there, that won't work. Now I've got 25. Let's see, 2 times 25, I know it's 50. 50 minus 1 is 49. Square root of 49 is 7. 7 times 2 is 14. Good. Then I've got 25 minus 11. It looks like 14 to me. Yes, it is. Minus 11. Bingo, it is. So this one is the solution. There we go. So we're done with that part.